Welcome guys to another video. Today I'm going to be playing the Lord of the Rings, the card game for a change. I wrote this recently. It's been out for like 9 years, but well, better late than never. So let's get started. Now I'm playing the first scenario from the core set. This game plays a little bit similar to the Arkham Horror. It's from the same makers. It's a similar kind of styles, and you have like your cards with stats on, resources, exhausting to do actions, threat level. You have scenarios and progression through there, and an encounter deck. Similar to Arkham Horror, where it'll reveal monsters, threats, and generally slow you down in your playing. So what we have here is we choose 3 heroes. So I've got a deck here of a deck I've been liking to use so far. There's 4 core sort of spheres in the game. There's leadership, law, spirit, and tactics. Different symbols here, as you can see. Got a purple one, a green one, and a blue one. Different styles of playing. So what we do is we choose 3 heroes, and I've chosen, as you can see here, I've chosen Aragorn, Eowyn, and Denethor. Stats up here indicate the threat you're going to start with. So we add these together. So 12, 8, 9 is 29. It gives us a starting threat of 29. What threat is? This ultimately allows certain enemies to engage with you, because you have a choice of enemies to engage. You haven't got to engage them, but if their threat, you see from the spider here, is lower than this or equal, they'll engage you on themselves. So keeping the threat low is essential to winning. Not only to keep enemies off your back, but if it hits 50, you've lost because the threat's too high and the threshold has been reached. So we have certain stats on the cards here. Willpower, strength, and defense. Willpower commits to the quest, which helps us progress the game, get rid of locations, and generally go through the scenarios. Strength is when you're attacking enemies, which damage you'll do, and defense, how much damage you'll be reduced to the character. So, for instance, if I was attacked for 3 damage, I'd take 0. If I was attacked for 4 damage, I'd take 1. This is the health, and some heroes have certain actions we exhaust them for. Certain keywords like Sentinel, response actions, so that's when someone's triggered. So it's similar to Arkham Horror in that sense. We have a deck of cards, start with 5. The scenario cards up here are similar to Arkham Horror. They have like 1A, 2A, 3A. So 1A is the setup side. That's the symbol for the encounter cards, and side B is for the actual game. It tells you how many progress tokens you're going to need to advance to the next section, which we'll go through in a second. So for the setup for this, asked me to search the deck for a Old Forest Road and a Forest Spider card, which I have up there ready. So in different stages. So first stage is resource phase, where you gain resources. So each hero gains 1 resource. We draw 5 cards. Start off with showing that first. Okay, so we've got a pretty good hand because I have the stone, which is pretty handy, which I'll show you in a second. So we have the draw card phase. So after the resource phase, the draw card. So we have our cards here. The symbol at the top indicates the cost. That's what the resource is going to take to play the card. Now you can only play resources for the majority of cards that match the pool of the cards it comes with in the set. So for instance, the Snowborn Scout has a leadership symbol. So only leadership cards can produce resources to pay for this card. For instance, Aragorn can pay 1 to pay for it, but Eowyn can't. Some cards like Gandalf are neutral, so they can pay for anything. If I had 2 leadership cards, like Aragorn and someone else, they could both use the resources up. That's up to them. So after the resource phase, with the quest, we have the planning phase, which is where you play cards. You play allies, events, and attachments. So allies stay on the board mostly and help you out questing and fighting the enemies. Events have a sort of one-off action and they're gone. Attachments to equip to a character or an enemy and do certain effects. So for a start, we are going to play the Snowborn Scout. So I'm going to pay 1 resource, put it in there. So we have a response. After enters play, choose a location and place 1 progress token on location. Progress tokens are little happy hobbit feet tokens. That goes up there on that one. What else are we going to do? I'm also going to, just to be safe, I'm going to play. Let's play more allies out first. So we're going to play the Hanmarth River Song, another ally. She goes down there. So I can't play anything else, resources are gone. Now we go into the quest phase. Now this is where you advance the game by playing cards and advancing the scenario, adding more cards to the board, generating more threat. So to commit a character to a quest, we exhaust the character. So we're going to exhaust Eowyn and Aragon. And we're going to exhaust the Hemmer Song. This indicates that they've been committed to the quest. They're exhausted, so we can't use them for something else. We can't defend a character or attack someone else. So knowing when to commit to a quest to keep someone back for defense is also handy. So we're going to add up our total willpower, which is the top resource here. So 2, 6, 7. And then before anything else, we reveal a card. This is called the staging phase, where each player reveals a card on their turn. Symbol here, so at the top of all the cards, all monsters and locations have a threat symbol. And what this means is, in the staging area up here, staging area is sort of out the way area. They're not engaging you directly, they aren't attacking you, you aren't in that location, you aren't fighting that monster, but they slow down your questing stage. So this goes up here in the staging area. So we had a total of 7. Now you add up the total threat, so 2, 3, 4, 5, and then deduct how much was left, which is 2, and that goes to progress onto the main quest. So anything in the staging area here, well, it's not really affects you directly, it slows down the quest. Now if we didn't have enough willpower, say we had less than the total, we'd add more to our threat, which obviously is bad for us because it means we're going to have more big enemies engaging with us, and we're going to get close to the 50 threshold and lose the game. So that's the quest resolved. Now it's the travel phase. Okay, so now it's the travel phase. So what we do is we pick a location to travel to. Because we've already made a mark on this one, we're going to go to Old Forest Road. So we commit to the travel. After you travel to Old Forest Road, the first player may choose and ready one character he controls. So we're going to choose and ready Aragon. Now the location is now an active location. You can only one at a time. It goes to the right of the station card. This means that not only is the threat not going to contribute to our total quest, so we're going to knock down the threat area we're going to be taking, but it's here on the way. And when we do questing, rather than going straight to there, it will go into location instead, which is a bit of a hindrance, but it means that the less threat here that adds up, the more progress we're going to make, ultimately, the better we're going to be at the game. So that's active location. Next is the encounter phase. So before anything, you have a chance to optionally engage an enemy. What this means is, when there's multiple enemies, you can choose to engage an enemy in order if you want to. If there's an enemy that's quite high, say there's an enemy of a higher threat than me, 30 or more, I could choose to engage that enemy if I wanted to. I mean, it's up to you. If you had enough cards out, you think you could take it, you could do that. But since I haven't, and it's going to engage me anyway, so we're going to engage this card. So this engages with us because it's got a lower threat than our threat. Always check the cards for the actions, so it has a force response. When it engages the player, it gains +1 attack to end the round, so it has 3 attack. Okay, so what we're going to do is, we're going to declare a defender. So any card that is unexhausted can be declared as a defender. If you don't declare a defender, if I didn't defend this attack, I'd have to assign the damage it dealt to one of my heroes. And not only that, but the defense counter wouldn't count. So defending against attack is handy, and the allies are great for just sort of chumping attacks. So first off, I'm going to declare the Snowborn Scout, because he's quite weak, as a defender. Next, when the enemy attacks, we give it a shadow card. This is like a boost card if you play Marvel Champions. So you turn this over, there's nothing there. Some cards, as you can see here, have boosts, give it extra effects, and so forth. So there's no boost there. So that'll do 2 damage, which is more than enough to kill my Snowborn Scout. Now you have the chance to fight back and declare an attacker. So what we're going to do is, we're going to have Aragorn here declare attack. Now he has attack of 3, minus the defense, so he takes 2 damage. Counters on there. There we go. And now we go for the refresh phase, which we ready up all our cards. We increase our threat, so that goes up by 1 each turn. We're now on 30. If you play multiplayer, you pass the first player token to the next player. So we're back onto the first phase. So we have a resource each, and we are going to draw a card. Okay. So what we're going to do here is, I'm going to just go. I don't know if I'm going to play anything here because what Aragorn has, he has a great ability where if you commit to a quest, you can spend a resource and resource pools, instantly ready him again, so you can fight with Aragorn afterwards, which is pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do an old trick of the game, which is one of the best combinations you can use, which is the sneak attack and Gandalf trick. Gandalf is a really powerful ally. Problem is, end of the round, he's discarded, but he's super strong, has all great stats, and does effects into the battlefield too. So what we're going to do is we're going to pay 1 from Aragorn to play Sneak Attack, which puts an ally card from your hand into play. At the end of the phase, if that ally is still in play, return it to your hand. So we're going to use that to sneak in Gandalf. Now when Gandalf enters play, he can either draw 3 cards, deal 4 damage to an enemy, or reduce your threat by 5. So we're going to have him deal 4 damage to enemy, instantly killing off the spider, which clears up space for us. And then we're going to commit to a quest. So we're going to commit Aragorn, Eowyn, and Gandalf all at once. So she has the ability here, discard a card from your hand to give Eowyn +1 willpower to the end of turn. We're going to discard, let's say, this card here to give extra +1. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 willpower in total. So don't forget, that's the commitment part, staging part. We draw a card. Dol Orcs. So he has when revealed, the first player chooses 1 character currently committed to a quest and deal 2 damage to that character. Well, as soon as Gandalf's going to be out of the game soon, we'll put it on Gandalf. So he's in the staging area. So we don't include the Old Forest into our final threat counts because don't forget we travelled there, which is why we want to do that. So we take 2, 4. So 2, 4 off 10 is 8. So we have to put on the location first. So 2 on there, location's gone, and 6 on there is more than enough to go to the next part of the encounter. So move that over. The A side might have instructions set up. It might say search for an enemy or search for an item. Straight to the B side, and there's the threshold. But it has a forced action, so to defeat this stage, proceed to one of the 2 chosen past stages at random. So we need to put 2 on here to win, which is quite easy. So that's that phase done. Travel phase. So to travel, obviously we need to choose a location. Let's choose this. To travel here, exhaust the hero. We're going to have to exhaust Denethor. Goes there. And that's the questing phase over. So after the encounter phase. Now, obviously his threat is really low, so he's going to counter us anyway, in case you will say sorry. I'm going to declare my River Song as a defender, because if I don't, he's going to do damage to one of my heroes, which I don't want. Give him a shadow card. Nothing there. So that does 2 damage. Yep, straight away he is gone. And that's the end of the turn. So refresh phase. This goes back to my hand because of the effects I played. These ready up. Resource. And draw a card. So what else do we have to play? Can't really play them yet. Nothing in this card pile I can take back. So let's just go for brute force and questing. So we're going to quest again with these 2. So that's 6. Don't forget, these are in the staging area, so they don't count towards our threat total. That's why traveling to location and engaging enemies is always handy. So we do this first. So that's 2. So 2 take away 6 is 4. Perfectly 2 enough for location and 2 for the encounter card. So we go to choose location. We're going to choose the top one. Has 10 threshold, and you can't defeat a stage while Ungoliant's spawn is in play. It's not in play, so we're okay so far. That's that bit done. Just been tapped, sorry. Onto the engagement phase. So this is going to engage because the threat's lower. If the threat's lower than yours, the engage with them styles you can't choose has to engage with you. Because it engages, it gets +1 to its attack per turn. So what we're going to do is we're going to defend the slightly bigger one with Denethor. Now his defense is 3. We're going to leave this one alone. I don't mind that. So we're going to see. Click this over it. No shadow card boost. So 2 damage minus 3 is 0. And then because it's undefended, I've got to assign. Oh, sorry, boost shadow card first. No effect. I've got to assign 2 damage to a character. I'll assign 2 to Aragon because it's got plenty of health. And then tap me to attack back. I'm going to attack the Doggold Orcs because they have no defense, 3 health, and they'll instantly help me with 3 attack to kill it. That's that gone. Okay, that's the end of the turn. Refresh, ready up. So we add 1 to the threat. We pay resources and draw a card. Okay, we've got Forest Snare here, which is a cool little card. Or we could just play Gandalf for his straight up cost, which I think is probably going to be better. So what we're going to do is we're going to pay for Gandalf. Now he takes 5. He's got no affiliation, no sphere, so to enemy sources. So 3 and 5. We're going to play Gandalf. We are going to do 4 damage to enemy in play. We're going to instantly kill this and clean a whole path for ourselves. When you play Gandalf for sneak attack, he only is in play for that phase. So if you do him in the questing phase, he can quest and then discard. I should have done that earlier. I should have discarded him last time I played him, but it didn't matter. I didn't know anything else of him anyway. But he lasts in the round and he is discarded. But with sneak attack, you play him for 1 phase and then back into your hand he goes. So you can play him wanting to quest, you can play him wanting to attack or defend. It's up to you when you want to play him. And then we're just going to go straight for the quest, and we should hopefully have this game in the bag. So 4, 8, 10. Left is scar, some cards for hands, pump up. So 11, 12. And if this isn't a card of 2, or well, it's less than 2, we should win. Each enemy location currently in stage area gets +1 until end of turn. No cards in there, gains Surge. So, it's 3. Unfortunately, we didn't do it. So we had 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Minus 3 is 9. Oh, 9. We're just off that. So that's 3, 6, 9. Put that over there. Travel phase. We'll travel to here. But we've got to discard 2 cards from our hand to do so. So we're going to do that. Only 2 cards left. So there you go. There's no enemies to fight, so we're okay for now. I'm going to use Denethor's ability, so I can exhaust Denethor to look at the top card in the counter deck and move that card to the bottom of the deck. So sort of see what I'm coming next. So, caught on the web. There's no threats increased. I mean, you're attached to a hero, you've got to pay 2 resources to raid the hero at the end of the turn, but that's fine. It can stay there. So we should have this one nice and easily. He's discarded now. So I'm quite liking this deck so far. It's been pretty fun to play with. Draw a card. We'll just play, I can't say it, Gloween, another ally. Questing phase, let's go all out with just those. So 5, 6, 7. Attach that to one of my characters, Denethor, to make a difference really. 7 minus 2 off this is 5, which is more than enough to complete the quest, and that is that done. And that is the first chapter of the core game set of Lord of the Rings, the card game. Wish we would play a few more cards, but it doesn't matter. A few more allies, but I think we did really well. Apart from not discarding Gandalf at the end of the phase, but it didn't make a difference really. And that's it for the first scenario of this game. I really like this game so far. It plays like Arkham Horror, which I really like, but I don't think the setup time is as long as Arkham Horror. I mean, it's not so much faffing about the cards and putting cards to the side so much, and that it seems a little bit easier. I mean, to be fair, I'm in the core set here, so it might get a bit different, I don't know. But anyway, look forward to more games of this, more unboxing videos and reviews. Any comments, let me know, leave a like, and thanks for watching.